I'm not a perfect person. What song is that?
The song that you're singing, you want me to know what it is? Yeah. 130. I think 130 is my heart out. Yeah.
Alright. Didn't have enough water for the first here. Maybe. Oh, you know what? I didn't pour my own tea.
You should pour your own tea.
I could just sip out of yours.
That's fine.
Okay. Dustin Vaught, welcome to the Self-Pour Podcast.
Thanks for having me, Derek. I guess we started.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I think you're a little familiar. You did a little bit of research on the pod, but for anyone listening or watching that doesn't know, we drink a light or dark tea in this case. Sometimes it's beer. Sometimes it's tea. I apologize. I'm just.
Is there whiskey we can put in here? I mean, come on.
And then we talk about your past. We then drink a sweet or sour beverage. Talk about your present/business, and then we finish off with beer top forward. With tea, I just go super strong. And then we talk about your future with the third.
Orange and spice is the sweet and sour.
That's our sweet.
What's the sour?
Well, sweet or.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said sweet and sour.
I might have. I messed up.
Okay, my apologies.
Same with it's light or dark.
Got it.
We will, speaking of which, start off. We'll get right into it.
I should just start. You want me to call you out on everything and question everything you're saying, right? Okay, good. All right. Because I don't know if I can exist any other way. Okay, cool. How are my levels? Are we good?
You're good, yeah.
Okay, cool. Is my beard rustling up on this thing?
No.
Okay, cool.
No.
Great.
We got the beard protector.
Beard guard.
Our first beverage is a lemon black tea, which actually does kind of mix the light and dark together, I thought. I haven't poured. I guess I could pour my own. I could put some boiling water back there, or we could just go and...
I can. Okay. I just got tested again. My wife makes me get tested quarterly, for any STIs, and so I'm clear, so,
Oh, I thought you were going to say COVID.
Oh, no. I don't know, Never been tested for that.
We... Okay, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, you can pour a little in my cup, actually. Okay, so yeah, let's taste our lemon black.
You can pour it, because I don't want to scald you.
It's going to get messy.
Because everyone knows how easy it is to pour tea.
We get messy on the Self-Pour Pod.
Actually, in that Crown Royal, it just looks like you've poured yourself a neat whiskey. Yeah. Cool.
Cheers to your past, Dustin.
Prost.
So there are two... Well, I'll let you sip first.
I've never cheersed a cup of tea before.
That's good.
That's good. A little whiskey in there. You got a hot toddy.
You're really on the whiskey tip.
Well, I was told by my people that this was a drinking podcast, and I misunderstood when they meant literally it's a drinking podcast, not a drinking alcohol podcast.
Yeah. Okay, so there are kind of two branches we can go when talking about your past. We can
do it.
Talk about, obviously, just your personal past, and then we can talk about your family past. Let's go back as far as we can. What do you know? How far back can you go?
Oh, yeah. So the Vaught's first came to the U.S., my direct lineage, in the 1600s. It was kind of like a direct... There's two common spellings for Vaught. It was V-O-G-T, as in like Stephen Vaught from Cleveland Guardians manager, was the catcher for the A's. And then Vaught is my spelling of my name, V-A-U-G-H-T. And even less common, the Vault, V-A-U-L-T, which I've very... Oh, a Vaught. Voigt is another bastardization of it.
You and Angelina, distant cousins?
Possibly. But yeah, so that was like the common one. And then the Southern Vaught became more common. My spelling of it was more common for south of Virginia. And so a lot of my family from my dad's side were Arkansas and Georgia. My father was born in California. My mom's side of the family, the Jorgensens and the Mingledorf, the Jorgensens, actually, they're also from Revolution. So I'm a son of the Revolution on both sides of the family, which is kind of cool.
Can you expand on what that means exactly, son of the Revolution?
Yeah, so that both of my families have been in colonial America since the before the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
So we have direct ties, primarily in Georgia for my mom's side of the family, and then my father's is Virginia and Arkansas, primarily.
I mean, it's such a rich marriage of two
Yeah,
Americas.
my mom's family, they were kind of like a affluent Southern family. They were definitely committed pretty awful things and definitely owned slaves at certain parts. So that's definitely something that I've had to like rectify. I guess fortunately, I don't know. Yeah, fortunately they lost all their money. So there's like no money in that side of the family. So it's almost like they got what they deserved. I don't know if I would say that actually, but yeah, so there's a lot to unpack in there as well. But yeah.
And then but Dad is from California.
Yeah, my dad was born in California.
Yeah.
He lived there till he was like 2. So really Southern California, like kind of like Baja California almost, really. He grew up half any TV shows were all in Spanish that he was watching and stuff. So and then they moved to Florida when he was fairly young, and he grew up in Tallahassee.
Okay, and then your parents met in Georgia?
Yeah, my parents met in Georgia. Yeah, my dad was a police officer. He was a deputy sheriff in the small town where my mom was living. Yeah.
Do you know about that origin story, how they met? And
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of conflicting stories with it. My mom had just gotten out of a divorce. My mom is 22 years younger than my father. So I think he was 45 when I was born. They were together for 13, 14 years, and then they divorced. Yeah.
Oh, and so, but and your mom was like, she had already been divorced at like 22, 23.
Yeah, she'd married her childhood, like her high school sweetheart, and then they divorced. They had a child together, my older sister, Brooke, and then they divorced when she was 21, 22. So, yeah.
Okay. Is that the sister that's getting married?
No, okay. I don't know how many sisters I have. I have 5 sisters.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, is that how many I have?
And you're the only male?
Well, these are halves and steps.
Sure.
And then I have one stepbrother. Yeah.
Very interesting. It's just so funny how normal it was. Just the normalization of kind of marriage and children at such a younger age back in the day. Commonplace. It was a common story, I think, your mom's and
especially
and
in the South. I mean, I got married to my wife when I was we're having our 10th wedding anniversary. So I was 26, 27.
Yeah.
I was 27. And people back home are like, "Oh, he's never going to get married."
Are you serious?
And then it's like out here, and speaking out here, we're in California.
Yeah.
That it's like, dude, you're getting married so young. Wow, that's crazy. I can't imagine getting married that young. And it's funny. My wife is a few years older than I am too, and so it's like it's just funny the dichotomy between cultures regionally as well.
Yeah. I'm 46, still thinking I got plenty of time.
You do. I mean, yeah, absolutely do. If you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Do you want to?
Oh yeah.
You do want to get married?
Yeah.
To a woman?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
So.
Why is that funny?
It's funny, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gay jokes are funny. No?
Oh, I didn't mean.
Oh,
like that.
What do you mean, like a horse or?
Jesus, what's wrong with you?
What if it's not a woman? It's a man. What do you mean?
Bestiality? Is that the kind of things you talk about regularly on this program?
No, it's a first until 4.
God,
we always have a first. It's like a baseball game. Something new always happens on the pod.
Okay, cool. Can we continue to... Speaking of bestiality, you going to talk about the Dodgers?
Yeah,
what was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Baseball, not bestiality.
Okay.
The other B.
The other B in your life. 2 B's in your life.
Bye, not one of them either.
Okay.
So you have this West Coast and Southern, primarily Southern upbringing, but there is this, kind of root or kernel of California on your dad's side.
Yeah, totally.
And then now you're back here.
Right.
Do you see yourself as this like, what's the word? dichotomic person? Like, are you're Southern and you're West Coast? Does that kind of define who you are? Do you look at yourself as kind of this complex, or just a combination of those two things?
I think it was a combination. In therapy, I've been doing a lot of work on like internal family systems and kind of better understanding the inner selves and all the parts that make us up. And so I've been trying not to like think of myself in like black and white terms like that, But yeah, of course, part of my Southern upbringing influences who I am. That's just part of it, and parts of the being from the South and the weight that carries out here on the West Coast definitely is something I have to reckon with and kind of understand its place within the past and our history of our country. And but also it's incredible things it offers. I'm not going to sit here and bash Louisiana and South Carolina Winslow's like Addison did or anything, but so I'm just gonna but I'm gonna say I love the South. It's not great. There's a lot of racism. There's a lot of issues, but still a beautiful part of our country and is an integral part of our country. And we have to figure out to see that and not just constantly bash the South or bash what I know that you've bashed the South.
Well, California gets bashed perpetually by.
Oh yeah, and I agree. But that's the same thing as like they said it first kind of thing. Argument, right? So
that's my whole.
Is they
media
said it
persona?
First?
They said it first.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I did.
Look, this podcast isn't about me. Okay.
Okay. Well. So obviously like I don't see myself as a Southern boy. People will put that on to me because my accent will come out or whatever, and then they'll just put that on there. I definitely had colleagues who have made comments about the South to me and have put on stereotypes about the South and have kind of put those on me, if you will. And so like but again, I'm a privileged white guy. So I'm not going to be woe is me about it, or anything. But yeah, I mean, there definitely is, especially in California, there is a stigma attached to the South, and rightfully so. Especially if you're, BIPOC or queer, like there's a lot for good reason. So yeah.
It's so interesting. You mentioned kind of the historical context, and that's kind of something that I think that it seems like you live with. I do as well. There's some people that always consider that, but then there's also the kind of individual conflicts within, right? And like those two things can kind of, they're separate, but related. It does sound like you do battle with some of these kind of this historical family stuff. And
totally.
Is there, how do we reckon with stuff like that when it's not of our era? I think it's a kind of a big debate, like, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
But it seems like you kind of personify that.
Yeah, no, I think so. And I mean, I think part of it is just not denying it. That's the biggest problem, I think, is so much of Southern culture today is denying that they got a leg up, whereas these, enslaved people were promised a lot and then they didn't get it. And so when we're talking like reparations, we're just talking about reparations for this segment, kind of what we're talking about here, I guess. It's like, hey, they were promised this, they didn't get it, and so I've heard arguments, from family or from kinfolk, and they'll say things like that, like, well, I didn't get it, and it's like, well, you didn't, but your grandpa did. Your grandpa had the farm. Your grandpa did this, or this family had this, and it's like they lost it, but they still got that leg up, and you're in a better position now because they had that.
Right.
So maybe they lost it, but they sold it and then moved to the city and they bought this townhouse and they're able to put you through college or X, Y, and Z. So just blindly, denying those things and not accepting the actual historical facts of your own lineage is a problem.
Right.
And I think, just helping people understand, like, yeah, we promised these folks that they would get it. And so you're telling me that if you gave this family these 40 acres, you gave them this thing, you gave them this homesteading, whatever it could have been, you don't think that they would have been better off? Their great grandkids or whatever lineage is now wouldn't be better off? Like, no, obviously they would be. Right. They would be where we promised them they would be.
Right. It's the advantages of free labor for decades, and then the inheritance that comes with that through the generations.
Exactly. Yeah, right. And I mean, and then we go into Jim Crow, what is really peasantry in a lot of ways, sharecropping. Right. So in the South, and Jimmy Carter's. Daylight. I can't remember the name of his autobiography. Really great, and he talks a lot about growing up, around sharecroppers, black sharecroppers, and
Right.
it's probably, I think, some of the best understanding of black sharecropping culture is really exemplified in that book.
Interesting. So let's try, this is funny, this is what happened with Addison. Great kind of branching off into big topics.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep it
Sorry.
a little personal. No, I love it.
What is personal to me? This is what I grew up.
Exactly.
This stuff I grew up with.
Right.
Like, these are conversations I grew up with. I mean, I grew up largely black communities I was a part of. I would so there was a guy, Charlie Smith Jr. He was House State Representative for our district growing up in South Georgia, and his kids are a little bit older. They were all off at college, so he would take me whenever he was going and campaigning and everything. And so I was just like, this.
Sorry, I missed that. Campaigning for
a state representative.
Oh, okay.
So he was. I think I can't remember how many consecutive terms he was state, but I would go and he would like usually take me along for things if he needed a little.
How
kid
did
with
you
him.
know or meet?
Oh,
this
he was
person?
like a family friend.
Okay.
My dad was a local politician in city council.
Gotcha.
Was really involved. Charlie, really lovely guy. So he would take me to church sessions or sermons and things. And my first time being exposed to like a true Southern Baptist church, like black church, was with him. And it was like, oh man, this is what religion could be. Like, this is fun. Like, this is really cool. You actually like felt something in you,
Yeah.
and you get why people would go to church. If you go and you get to feel this weekly, like, I get it, man. Like, this is awesome. Like, this is an incredible sense of community. You feel all of this together. There's great music. There's just atmosphere. It's alive. And then you go the next week to your typical Methodist church, and you're like, oh God, what is this?
Well, church is where culture starts in so many ways,
Well,
right?
yeah, I mean, yeah, totally. I mean, we won't get into that, but like, yeah, more to what I'm saying was like just being exposed to black culture at a young age, I think was really helpful for me to. I don't know how to say any of this without sounding like I'm.
No, it's fine.
Like a optical allyship or something, or like projecting, but it's like, no, I think that was a crucial part of me as a person and like how I understand my place as a white person and like the work that I've done.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've definitely like the words and things that I've heard from my family directed towards me about black people and other BIPOC folk. It's been hard to rectify my relationship with them because of it. I know like the first time like I understood racism as like a kid from like external other people was at the time I was on the school bus. And I farted.
Okay.
And the kid next to me.
That's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, he looked at me. He's like, "Did you fart?" And I was like, "No. It was the guy ahead of us." And he looked over, and it was one of my black friends. And he said, and he looked. He's like, "Makes sense. Doesn't smell like one of ours." And I was like, "That is the first time that I understood." I had heard racism from my parents, or from like family, I should say. I had never heard it from a peer. I'm like 9-10 years old, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, this isn't just like our parents are saying these things. Like, it is. We are sponges, and we are taking it in. And I obviously wasn't that articulate of it as at that age, but I definitely was aware. It's like, oh, this is like, it's not just dying with them. Like, this is still a problem. We're still in our culture, in our generation. That is a nurture right there. That's not nature. You're not just going to feel that way. You're taught to feel that way.
Right. It's just, these are the teams. There's unconditional excuse and forgiveness for my team. There's unconditional blame for the other. Facts be damned, reality be damned. That's kind of how I look at it today too. Fascinating. Thank you for sharing. What brought you to California? Can we get a little bit of a timeline on you kind of growing up and into adulthood and everything?
Yeah. So I've been acting. I guess I should say who I am. Hi, I'm Dustin Vaught.
I think I said it at the beginning.
Did you? Okay. Did you say who I am or what I am or what
That's
I
the
do?
middle part when we talk about your present.
So people they just go into it blind. Okay,
Yeah.
Hi. I was did a lot of child acting, kind of all over. Did some film, did some TV, a lot of plays, commercials, print. And then
It's out of Atlanta?
No, it's Jacksonville, Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Has some Atlanta stuff, yeah. And then some LA stuff. And so like I I kind of got burnt out. And
what age did we start? Like, can you give us a little glimpse into that world in Florida and everything?
Sure. Yeah. So I think so. The first like film that I did was Sunshine State, which was 2001. So I was 12. And I got to meet Mary Steenburgen on that, and that was a really great experience. And like I think like really shaped a lot of like probably a lot of crushes that I've had in my life too. Was my experience with Mary Steenburgen.
She's on the #1 film on Apple right now. With
what is that?
It's about pickleball.
Oh, the Dink.
Yeah.
She's in the Dink. Yeah, she was great.
Still playing a love interest.
Of course, she's great. She's great in the Man on the Inside with her husband Ted Danson, real life husband Ted Danson.
That was the Mike Schur show.
Yeah, the Mike Schur.
Yeah, that not a lot of people watch.
That he taught at. He teaches at the same school that my wife teaches at in that show. Or he did.
Oh, really?
Ted Danson's character, yeah. And Anna's like, we did not get paid that much to afford this house. It's very funny. Great show though. And so was back in Georgia. My wife was teaching at college down there, Georgia Southern. Go Eagles. Mm-hmm. And we met down there, and she said, "Hey, I'm moving to the Bay Area. Do you want to go with me?"
How long had you been married already at this point?
No, we had not been married yet. We had only been together like 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, we weren't together very long, and everyone was like, "You're nuts! Like this is crazy. How are you going to do this? Like this is crazy." And we're like, "All right, well, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out." So we drove across the country together. We went to all these places we had been wanting to go to and check out, including Marfa, Texas, which is one of my favorite cities in the world.
Marfa,
Texas.
Okay.
Marfa, Texas. It's an incredible artist commune. It's a very unique place. There Will Be Blood was filmed there. No Country for Old Men was filmed there. Giant, incredible cinema history there. But it was an artist commune in the 60s. This really famous artist went down there, kind of set up a commune. It's a really cool place. And so now you have this incredible, one side of the street is a ranching community. The other side you have $2 million pieces of art sitting in a little warehouse. So,
which Austin... Did Austin kind of steal that energy and turn it into a larger city? Because that's what I think of when I think of Austin. But
Austin is more of like a
industry.
No, it's different. Yeah, it's more industry focused. Yeah, and definitely large. Marfa is like sub 10,000 people.
Gotcha.
It's very small in the middle of nowhere. You have to drive to it. You can't fly into it. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's like a 5-hour drive.
So you considered that, but no, Bay Area.
No, California. Well, my wife got offered a job. She got offered a job at East Bay. Gotcha. And so we were like, oh, well, I already got this job. It's great. You want to come out? Sure. So we did. And then, that was in 2016.
And so
we got married that year. And then we got married like 2 months after we got out here because her insurance is better than mine. So.
Nice. So the acting career as a teen, I mean, I would love to hear. I know we only have so much time. I'd love to hear maybe more about that. The Mary Steenburgen film. From there, was there a genuine like, this is obviously what I want in life, and was there a point where you kind of backed off of it, or? Yeah,
no, I definitely backed off of it. No, I never thought that it was a point in my like this is what I was going to do. I always wanted to. I always really wanted to write and direct and produce and do a lot of the work that I'm doing now. I kind of saw it as a means to an end. I love acting.
I feel like it's rare for actors. Usually it's like, that's their unequivocal dream.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Oh, interesting.
I think a lot of actors,
you would know.
I feel like a lot of people that I know, it's more of like they have a vision and they want to tell their vision. So they do these things to get them to a place to be able to make their vision of something creative. I mean, we're all creative people. So.
Right.
I was not going to speak for everyone, but just from some people that I know, sure, there's people who just want to be career actors and like that's their life and they love it and that's just what they want to do. And if I could do that and make that money, that would be amazing. But that's just not the reality for me. So, so I did that. Definitely had an awkward stage. I'm still in it. And like, so yeah, I took a back seat for it for a while, and then
just once you became like turned 18, or
I kind of like 15, 16, pretty awkward, and then 17, 18, I started doing stuff again. 19, 20, I started picking up. I did some more regional stuff again, did some commercial work, and then I got a TV pilot, which was like a pretty good sized pilot. I was really excited about that, and I got 2 pilots within that year.
While you were living in the South, you got
this is
out of LA.
Yeah, this was in Georgia, And
before there was a huge kind of film boom in Georgia.
Yeah,
by the way.
This was kind of around that period. And so one of those was like an LA thing. That happened. It was what it was. And then I did a pilot. It was supposed to be a CBS pilot for the Coast Guard. It didn't get picked up. And then I did another film around that. There was like a year there where there were like 4 or 5 things that I did where I was like the young recruit, like the young military cop recruit kind of thing. I was very clean shaven. And
so you're older than 18.
Yeah, I was like 20 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of was like 18, 19. Yeah, it was like very
young cop,
very clean shaven. Like that was like a thing that I was going out for a lot. And then there was another pilot for this like Christian produced thing. It was like 21 Jump Street kind of thing. I don't even know if it ever saw the finished product of that.
Christian 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, I think that's, from my memory, that's what it was. This was,
So the music and dancing were just a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, this is 20 years ago. No, I don't think that there was there wasn't music.
Oh wait, it's 21 Jump. What am I? I'm thinking of Flashdance or something.
Are you thinking like High School Musical?
I didn't watch those movies.
About High School Musical?
I didn't even watch 21 Jump Street when it came out. Those 80s kind of.
Yeah, it was like that. It was one of those.
Yeah.
It was like a high school melodrama, but Christian slant to it. And I remember doing it. I got paid. It was fine. I don't know whatever came about it. I'm assuming nothing since no one has tagged me in it.
Gotcha.
At some point. But yeah, so I did that. Did that for a little while. Did some other things. Did some other commercials. Then I was kind of done. And then focused on other stuff for a while. And yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm just projecting my own kind of perception on things, but it feels like you didn't glamorize that industry much. It was very practical for you. It was a job, which I admire, honestly.
No, I'll push back on that a little bit. I definitely glamorized it, and there's definitely things that I wanted, but it's just a reality of where I am as an adult and my place in the industry. And I definitely had part of it was that I had a lot of bad boundaries. And bad problems and things, and I wasn't taking care of myself the way that I should have, and I definitely was engaging in toxic behavior and doing things that I should not have been doing, and drug usage, things like that. And so,
what about boundaries with superiors in the industry? Did you ever have any bad experiences?
No, nothing like that. Nothing like that. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we got to move a little here. So obviously get going forever about the past, but I think we'll segue here into your present. I mean, okay. Last question about the past.
Oh, sure.
You mentioned the 17th century when your family came here.
Oh yeah.
This is from Germany.
Yeah, my mom. Yeah, so my father Vaught is German.
Yeah.
That is Germany for that side, and then Swedish on my mom's side and Dutch.
And how do you know that? Was there lineage?
My mom did like this genealogy, like Ancestry.com.
Oh, okay.
And they had pretty good records for a lot of our family before my mom either. So she kind of, there's like 100 years that were kind of missing that my mom like went in and like, but she tracked it all the way back for basically both sides of my family.
So okay, yeah, I guess yeah.
It's pretty cool. Yeah,
I'm fascinated by all the details.
There's like a whole book of like our family history and everything. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It's just funny, like before 23andMe or whatever kind of modern, normalized avenues are out to look
23andMe changed my life.
It did.
Yeah, we can talk. That's a whole other podcast though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like I have these kind of saved like old printer paper put together with like family history.
Totally.
And, like,
that's what my mom has. Yeah,
okay.
And just like has from Ancestry.com when it used to be like it was like the CD-ROM.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was around.
Yeah, it was like a software program. You could like do it, and like she did it all like back then, and like so she had it all printed out somewhere.
Yeah.
I think now she's kept the account, so it's all digitized and modernized. But it was crazy. I remember like as a kid flipping through and like seeing all of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just archived a bunch of stuff the other day. It was. Whew.
That's cool.
It gets emotional, man. You all like there's just the thousands of pictures and stuff that you haven't seen for forever, or the ones that from before you were born that you maybe had never seen. I just went through all that, and it was hard. I had to stop organizing at times. Just like,
oh man, yeah. My grandfather passed away earlier this year.
Yeah.
And going back home for the funeral, it was like I was pretty close with him. When I was younger, we were very close, and like seeing pictures of him from before I was born. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's my grandpa. You know, the family resemblance and things. And like, I'm like, I think I have a belt just like that, or like, oh man, that shirt, or like something about it, like looks he's doing. You're just kind of like, you can feel yourself in that picture. You know, it's just really hard, and it's just that moment of being like, I wish I could have shared. There's just so much of the wishes, right, that come out in those moments when you're like, I wish I could have shared this moment, experiencing this photo with him. I wish I could have reminded him how much this event with him meant to me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you know, it's funny how those photos and those lines can impact you in ways you weren't expecting.
Yeah, as you said, I think there are kind of two big emotions. Obviously, there are many, but one is the regrets that can pop up.
Totally.
And then, you know, usually that's like, you know, my dad passed in 2022, so it's a little more fresh, and that's a very real thing there. Whereas with, you know, grandparents, great-grandparents, usually, you know, not as much, I guess, regret with those relationships, maybe. It's just all good. You know, your grandparents are just like perfect. But then there's that. But then there's also the kind of the enlightenment of it, like the understanding of who you are and where you came from that you might not have ever considered or known before. That just, you know, it can be like
it's like it's released, like something's like this new wave of information you've accessed or something that you didn't have before. And it is weird. It's like the things that like, oh yeah, he did so and so, and I'm like, you guys never told me that. Like I've like asked him these, like when he's like, I didn't think it was important. It's like, yeah, I would have loved to have known that about them. But it's just funny how life and death, they come at you in different ways. And, you know, it's all the cliches. It's just funny. So we start getting these ages and we're like, oh yeah, all of these things we've heard and been told our lives are cliches for a reason.
Right.
People have been feeling this way for a millennia.
Right.
And it'll still keep feeling that way.
All right. Fantastic. Let's get into our second drink, the present. What up, Joe? We got roommates coming in and out. We're going sweet, not sour, sweet and spicy here. Orange and spice herbal tea. Let's take a sip of this, if you'd like. And
you want to pour some for you?
We'll talk about your present. Yeah, sure. Oh, look at that. Oh, almost jinxed it. Okay, appropriate color for an orange spice.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. You can smell this one. Is there such a thing as leaving the tea bag in for too long?
Probably.
Was that too strong?
I mean, like, no, it's actually, I was thinking how,
just dump it on the table.
I was actually thinking how weak it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Or how weak it is. I guess, like, I don't know, getting the spice. You can smell the spice. I don't taste it, though.
Yeah.
I was hoping for more of a bite in that.
I don't know how old these tea bags are.
Are they younger or older than your last girlfriend?
Okay. I withheld from jokes when you mentioned your parents' age disparity. Okay, so present. So let's take this opportunity, if we can, to really evaluate and analyze like what you're doing right now, because I think that you strike me as somebody that's pretty busy, pretty productive, pretty ambitious, and I think people like that don't often kind of sit back and say, "This is what I'm doing." So, if you could please kind of tell people what you're doing now, and then we can kind of dance around that, or go back from that a little bit. That's still in present terms. Well, what are you up to right now, Dustin?
Just stuff.
Thanks for tuning into the Soap Opera.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, I'm just doing this thing and everything. It's strangely like a vague question, actually, to me for some reason.
It is.
I don't know. So what am I doing right now? Well, right now, how about this? So a film we made called The Fuzzies is out. You can watch it on Tubi. You can rent it on Amazon. You can soon you'll be able to purchase it on Blu-ray. You can buy swag from our store on thefuzziesfilm.com.
That's new.
Yeah, we just launched a bunch of swag last week. Another film I did called Timberlands. It's a modern western starring Oscar winner Wes Studi. That will be premiering in Portland, the Portland Film Festival, September 30th. So if you're in Portland or in the area, go check it out. And otherwise, you'll be able to see it streaming early next year. And
I was around for a bit of the Fuzzies rollout, which was great. Got to see it at the pageant, and been able to be a fan, I guess, as it's
thank you for your support since the beginning.
that's kind of culminated in this these New York Times reviews or mentions or whatever you want to call it, which, you know, for some, I consider us decent friends. Obviously, we're still, you know, we still have known each other for too long.
Acquaintance. Begrudgingly an acquaintance, I would say.
But when things like that happen, those big things, man, it just, even people like me that are tertiary to your life, like it really makes me happy to see those things, man.
That's really sweet.
Like it's you know, that makes me happier than if it were happening to me.
That's not true.
Maybe that's not true.
That's not true at all.
There's a genuine.
Nice of you to lie about it.
There's a genuine sense of like, wow, this is great, and like you kind of get this rush and like cheering for.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like, woke up to it, and I was like, Josh sent it to me, and our people were sending it to us, and we were like, what? Like, this is a joke, right? Like,
right?
What? Like, what's happening? Yeah, it's a cool, right? You know, he spoke fondly of us in the same breath as Obsession, so that was a really cool little thing.
Wild.
Yeah, and then they followed up with another thing in the newsletter, so there was just a feature in the SACB last week too, which they did a really good job on. That was a lot of fun.
So funny, like that SACB. Did it take a little bit of the luster from the SACB profile? Like, we were just in the New York Times.
Yeah, I mean, the SACB was like a full profile, a full feature. You know, the New York Times was just a little review of it. They did call out me and Josh specifically in the New York Times review, and so that was cool. Yeah. You know, that was a performance that I'm pretty proud of, and I think a lot of people have seen the film who get it, really get it, and others that don't get it, and that's fine. It's not meant for everyone, and we never wanted to make a movie that was for everyone, and so, but we're really proud of it, and we love it, and it's very unique. It's its own thing. We got what we wanted to get out of the performances. I love because we wanted it to be this campy nonsense is really what it was, and I think we got what it was. We wanted just to feel like this John Waters performances in this Lynchian world, kind of Lynchian and John Waters performances of this campiness and that are kind of existing in this surreal world where, yeah, we got what we wanted out of it. I can't say it any other ways. I mean, like, I love the movie. I'm so proud of it, and you know, I can't wait to keep working with Josh. We're already working on our next two projects.
Phenomenal. Yeah,
and so, you know, I have a slate of projects right now I'm working on. I have a few with Josh. I have a few others with other teams. So yeah, I'm just, you know, keeping at these projects and working on all my other. I'm very involved in the community engagement. So, you know, that's a big love and passion of mine, is serving the community in all the ways that I can. And yeah, I mean, that's where I want to keep growing and, you know, professionally have my boundaries for things and saying no to things I don't really want to do or aren't necessarily moving the areas that I want to move forward creatively and professionally. And that's kind of where I'm at now as an adult. You know, I have a young son, been married for nearly 10 years now. And so it's like, you know, just prioritizing things and people that matter in my life and realizing who those people are. So that's a lot of what I'm doing presently, is being like...
Here with me, you mean? No, I'm sorry. I just got off a beautiful moment.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. I'm glad you caught on to that. It's like, I'm giving up a lot to be here right now, pal.
I appreciate everything you're saying. I was making really appreciative that you're here.
But no, but it is true. It's like, it's like, you know, setting boundaries to the people who I feel like I want to have in my life. And then the people who I don't. I think I spent a lot of portion of my last, 5 years of my life saying yes to every and anything, and was really open, and I think that my cuppeth is overfloweth. And so I'm having to be more mindful of my time out of respect and love for my wife and my family and my friends. So I want to show up for the people, and I haven't been showing up for the people who I truly care about the way that I should be. But also it hurts my work too. So I want to make sure that I'm giving the proper dedication to the areas that I want to be putting it in.
It feels to me like when you get to that point, that is a sort of leveling up, a sort of sign of progress, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, this is work that, you know, it takes work. I mean, a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, some people can just do it on their own. This is through therapy and working with my therapist and working with myself and, you know, understanding who it is that I am, who it is I'm working to becoming, the father that I want to be, the partner I want to be, the friend that I want to be, whatever that dynamic is that I'm interacting with, and understanding how I can continue to grow and be a better person.
Yeah, and in terms of like the cup overflowing, and you kind of saying yes to everything. I mean, I think that's a vital kind of step in the growth, right? And then like getting to the point, like you're doing all these things, and now even knowing what you don't want, knowing what your boundaries
that's
are, knowing
my
what's good for
life.
you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that's what you should do, or Barbara listening. Barbara is your biggest fan, by the way. She loves it.
Really?
Yeah. Barbara down the street. She got the eye patch.
We have not met. No.
Eye patch in the peg leg.
Well,
Wonderful woman.
Give me your contact info.
Okay, I will.
We'll have her on.
I might send it over. I think that's a big part of it, is just like understanding who you are in your place and what is it you want. And so that's what I've been doing a lot of work of lately. It's like,
right.
Professionally, I'm achieving a lot of my goals, but at what sacrifices, and where do I want to keep pursuing? And it's like, I don't need to be doing that project. I don't need to be saying yes to that. I want to be doing this. I have the ability to do this, and creatively, I want to feel fulfilled. Obviously, professionally, I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel fulfilled in all these areas, but you have to say no. I have to say no to be able to just show up, right. And that's just where I'm at.
I love it. Let's talk about this local community a bit. I was introduced to you through a great, productive friend and kind of co-podcaster, Amy, and because I'd written a short script and wanted to try to get that in motion and get that short film made, which I still do.
I got it made into a film, right? The Joker 2. Congrats on that, by the way.
This is obviously the Joker 3. No, this is the prequel to the Joker. Thank you. Great comparison. I'll take that. Just like your obsession.
What would the prequel to the Joker be? Because that's his origin story. Is already is the movie.
Okay. Anyways, my script's not important. My point is though is that when Amy set up the meeting with you, that was also another exciting moment for me, even though I didn't know you, just by how she described you, and then just sitting down with you, kind of getting your aura and everything. I was like, this is a big deal.
He's a self-centered asshole. He's going to take up all the space. He's not gonna allow you any room.
You brought this. So I lived in LA for 4 or 5 years, right? So I've experienced that world. And a lot of what I love about LA is entirely lacking from a Chico or any kind of small community. Totally. So meeting you, I was like, oh, there's one person out there that's kind of bringing some of that to this town, which is, what I'm still kind of always looking for, really, even in just terms of like someone to chat with or have a drink with, not professional necessarily. So do you look at yourself like that? Like you're bringing these kind of maybe metropolitan or and this is not diminishing any small town person, but like kind of bigger ideas, bigger ambitions to a community of 100,000 where there's a ton of growth that still can happen in a place like this.
Yes and no. I mean, I think that a lot of my experience and the things that I'm passionate about are from my childhood and my experiences in my community growing up. Very close-knit family and community that I had to grow up in. I mean, I was in the bar, it was like Cheers kind of community bar, and all the kids were running around, and my dad's election campaigns were held there. The parties were all there. I knew I would go in the back and play poker with the mayor. Wow. These types of experiences, and so it's this very small town. It was very small town feel, but we are the mill closed in my community, and the town died, and the town was drastically struggling. They didn't know what they were going to do, so they shifted to tourism, and they did this, and it saved the community in a lot of ways. But it also, they have not continued to progress. They thought, we did the one thing, we're saved. Has not saved it. It's suffered.
What's the name of the town again?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
It's a port to Cumberland Island, so it's an important area. But I had a house down there for quite a while. I sold it off. We sold it off this year, and it's hard to see a place that you love and you try to invest in and give support to see its resilience to wanting to help itself. And so I see a lot of that in Chico, where if Chico, in a lot of ways, could get out of its own way, it would benefit the entire community. And now, but part of that is my place of understanding that I'm an outsider. I'm not someone that people have known for long. I'm not trusted in this community. Is really what it comes down to. And So I can't, I'm not going to stand on a mountainside and be like, I'm a Chicoan and this is what needs to happen. And I'm not trying to do that. But what I am trying to do is hear from everyone and understand everyone's side and understand their story, and then share my own life experiences, the things that I've seen in communities that have worked, that have faced similar things. I go through a lot of towns and cities promoting my films or doing film festivals, and a lot of them have similar downtown experiences that Chico has had. And then the ones that I've seen that have been successful embrace the revitalization, and they're thriving. So I think that it's hard. A lot of the conversations are really hard because there's so much of our own truly trauma wrapped up in it for the community trauma through what they experienced through Chico State, through the Pioneer Days, all of these things that they've experienced through previous iterations of the city council, just decisions that we've made historically are impacting everything that's happening today. And so it's, what I'm trying, I just want everyone to feel heard and want to support in areas and help bring some art, some new art to the area, uplift the voices that are here, just make sure that people feel included is really what I want to try to do.
Wow. I love all this detail because it really does make sense now. I mean, I love and admire talent, but I'm fascinated by ambition. And so to learn, you're growing up, around ambitious people, politicians, people that care about their city, that want to improve their city. This is what you grew up in. Yeah. So it's just kind of part of your DNA.
Yeah, it truly is. And people are like, they'll see what I'm doing a lot of professionally, and they're like, well, why are you doing this? And I'm like, well, you don't know me. You don't know my story. And so that's a big thing that I have. I think everyone has a story, and a lot of stories are similar, but they're all, even the stories that are unique have a similar thread, but it's still your story, and it influences you and impacts you and your community. And so understanding how your story fits into your community is just so beneficial. And I think we need to be understanding and actually hearing each other's stories more, and not just assuming because of how they voted or who they voted for that we know the answer. And I think that's the real way to get to people if we're really going to unpack a lot of the things. And that's a lot of like when I talk to, more conservative members of my family, when we actually sit down and actually have a conversation, it's like, how did you get to this point? And it's like, I get how your mind got there. Like, I get it. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Right. And it makes me really mad that you are at this point, that you've gotten to this. But I can understand, for the most part, how they got there because of what they were told, what they felt, and how they were manipulated. And that's for both sides at times, too. Yeah. So propaganda definitely is both sides. So that's a lot of... And so I think when I hear these conversations about like downtown revitalization in Chico and how conservatives are painted and liberals are painted, and the DEI bike lanes and these conversations, and we're ignoring that this was a basic infrastructure deal. This was something that our largely conservative city staff, they aren't politically motivated, but I would say a lot of them are conservative from my experience. And so it's like, this is an infrastructure issue. This isn't something that usually is voted on. This is kind of like a non-actionable item, really. And so the fact that it became this politicized issue is just shocking to me. Yeah. But it speaks so much more about the climate nationally, right? Especially since the Secretary of Transportation just a few weeks ago did use that line. He says DEI bike lanes. Right. So clearly, this is a theme that's happening all over. So it's shocking to me the things that are becoming politicized when they seem like pretty basic infrastructure across the country. Yeah. I have a lot of kind of political. Yeah, I know you do. Comments on that, but I love what you said there. I know that we differ on a lot of communication with the other side, per se. I know that we're aligned politically on most everything. So, but it is like, it is still like. And this goes back. Actually, it really does bother me. Actually, how you speak of the South at times. Sure. Because I really do think that you. I've rarely been there, by the way. Yeah, and so I think I think anyone who speaks about anywhere that they haven't been is a hypocrite. Right. And I think I don't think that it's fair to do that. You were forgoing some incredible culture, incredible humans, and the BIPOC people that are there, the queer people.
Right.
It's just you're overlooking this incredible amounts of people who care deeply about their communities in the South, and they're the ones doing the work to make change. And so when we speak ill of them in the way that we do at times, that just you're not just downplaying my cousin Billy who talked like this and he come around the corner with his Trump truck, but you're also talking about like my queer friends who've been gay their entire lives, identified as trans, who are trans, all of these people who are also Southern, and they love their culture of the South. And there is a culture there. Sure, there's a lot of racism as parts of that culture, but it still is about living in this mindset. And it's very different than what the Southern culture is, that is personified through MAGAism, I think.
One thing I want to, look, this is a great political conversation that I would love to have in detail.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
We're talking about me and my life in the South, so yeah.
One thing I wanted to say earlier was that the kind of irony with because we were talking about the West Coast and Southern kind of origins for you, or just that duality in your life. Southern people, I know that they're the nicest people on earth when you meet them. A lot of them are. But there's some validity to that. If I go to Nashville or wherever and go out to the bars, I'll have probably one of the best times of my life. Like, I don't doubt that at all.
Right.
I get, and then ironically, a lot of Californians might come off as dicks.
Yeah.
On the surface. Yeah. So it's like there's like the surface level personalities versus the underlying kind of intelligence, I guess, or whatever word you want to use, discernment, gullibility.
But also with that, you're a white man too,
right?
You're a straight white man, so there's that part of it too. So if you were a queer black man who knows how you're being treated necessarily in those exact circles at that exact moment, so there is that privilege in it. But yeah, I agree. I mean, in general, Southern people are nice, but then also there's what's hiding under there. It's absolutely a good thing. The thing that I always think about there is a phrase, drive-through liquor stores.
So I was stationed in Texas in the military.
Okay,
so I had a couple.
So we would say in small Georgia, Baptists go through the front door, Methodists go through the drive-through. So that who was being seen in those things. So to the hypocrisy of so much of the culture is definitely on full display.
There's one other thing here talking about your kind of present in Chico. Things that you've been involved with. Is there anything else? Well, actually, I guess that'll be more for the future conversation here, which we'll spend about 15 minutes on. Right now, things that you're doing and or have done recently. I know that the Save the Ahlswede campaign is a thing that you've gotten behind. Can you tell us what drew your interest with that and maybe a little bit about what it is?
Totally, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, so Save Ahlswede, the Ahlswede Theater in downtown Chico is a beloved landmark. It's a staple of downtown. It's one of the oldest movie theaters in the U.S. It was the oldest continually running in California, period. It's been up for sale for a few years. It's in terrible shape. It's deteriorating. The roof is a mess. So we formed this nonprofit that's been working to purchase, restore, and reopen the theater. We are working with a foundation here in town, the Lupine Legacy Foundation. They did pledge $2.5 million to us. That was for restoration. So we're working with them. We're working with some other partners to be able to purchase the building because we can't really use those funds until we own the building because it is for restoration. So we're working with them. We're working with other partners to get the money necessary to get there. And I do feel like at the end of this year, we'll hopefully have some good news. I feel like I've been saying that for a while, but it's a big process and it's a big team. We've been working on a really robust business case and pro forma, and there's been different iterations of what it looks like, and we worked with the community. And again, like that's what it is, hearing the stories from the community. We thought as a board, we knew what the community wanted. And then we heard from the community. We're like, no, that's not what they want. This is what they want. And so that's what this business model and shifted to is being what the community said that they wanted, which is more cinema focused.
Okay. Yeah.
We had this big plan. It was going to be this music venue with all of these new bells and whistles and be this performance space and be this conference space that was going to cost us $20 million to do. And it's like, okay, let's talk to the community. Like before we go all in on this, trying to get this money, make it this much. Like, what does the community really want? And all the stories we heard were people telling about going to see Titanic and seeing it for their 15th time, or some 80-year-old he was telling us that he was making out with a girl on his first date in the 60s or whatever in the back row, and people talking about going to see it was one of my favorite ones. They're seeing Phantom Menace. When Phantom Menace first came out, and there was a line of people outside
I remember that.
all around the corner, and they were waiting in line.
Poor people. Just kidding.
They were waiting in line, and the guy, the movie got out, the screening before them, he came out, and he just yells, "Qui-Gon dies!"
Oh my God.
So, I guguess your first spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that's a lot of the work that we're doing with that. I actually have a column in the ER. I write about art and culture as an economic driver. So I've been doing a lot of that. I've been working with Upgraded Living, doing some stuff with them as well. So just really, trying to use my voice and my skill set, my particular set of skills. Can you do it in a Liam Neeson voice? Can you say it in your Liam Neeson voice?
I haven't seen Taken.
Okay, but you knew what I was talking about,
yeah.
so you
Look,
could have.
I gave you a 8.5 Capote voice a few weeks ago. I'm gonna preserve 5. You said I can't do a Neeson.
Okay. But anyways, so using that to try to articulate the importance of art and culture in our community, and not just seeing it as an afterthought, and how it is so crucial for us to invest in this and be an integral part of it, which our TOT, which is our occupancy tax, is so low for our arts and culture compared to other metropolitans and other townships and cities. Compared to us, we're at 1%, which is quite low. So that is the funds that we are able to use for our art grants.
Yeah, it's a great mission. And I want to talk about some of that stuff with the future.
Sure.
Which we should move to. We got about 20 more minutes. I'm just with the El Rey though.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie The Majestic, the Frank Darabont movie with Jim Carrey?
Of course.
I don't think I did.
With
but
Amanda Detmer, who was
right.
on the Butte County Film Commission with me. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. That movie's about restoring a theater, right?
Correct.
And the magic it brings to the community.
Well,
something?
and the El Rey was also called The Majestic at one point.
It was.
Yeah.
Wow, what a coincidence.
I know.
So you mentioned the economic drivers, and I think that's such an important conversation to have.
Right.
In regarding city council and everything, local investors, all that stuff. But your reason for getting behind this El Rey project, is there some majesticness behind it?
Well, totally. I mean, I think, I love film. Obviously, my whole life has really been dedicated to filmmaking and creative arts. So it makes sense that El Rey would strike me. Part of it is that we're at a crossroads culturally when it comes to cinema and film. We saw the death of cinema during COVID, as it was by so many people have said it. Now we're seeing 2026 as one of the best years for cinema we've had in a very long time, as it's projected to keep getting better with some major tentpole films coming out. And so we're looking forward, and we're seeing who is the demo that's really resonating this with. It's Gen X. So Gen X is the ones showing up to see Obsession, showing up to see Backrooms.
Really?
That are making these incredible films.
X or Z?
Sorry, Gen Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z.
I mean, I wouldn't.
That was very confusing. Sorry. Gen Z. Gen Z is showing up in a way that hasn't.
Right.
And part of that is because of their connection of having a third space that feels that it isn't alcohol, that isn't drinking, that's not club or bar scene, that they're going to there. There is that part of it. And, the memification of film is a big part of it, too. We're also seeing, this is the last year, 2025, was the first year that DVD and Blu-rays outsold vinyl records in quite some time. Vinyl had been a huge staple of physical media. Still is, of course, but DVDs, Blu-rays are now once again on the rise. And that's because
it's huge.
It's huge because it's a physical part of it is this push back against streaming and digital and wanting to tangibly own something. We're seeing because of rights. Like perhaps you buy a movie on Apple, who knows if they're going to hold that rights. This is a big issue with Sony right now with video games, and so people are really pushing back and demanding the physical of all these things. So there's this new demand for it with this younger generation of tangibly having something. The pendulum had swung so far one way that we're seeing it kind of come back a little bit for it.
I love it. Couldn't agree more. Okay. Let's move on to the future. We'll sip our third tea here. This is turmeric, ginger, cinnamon. I'll do my little pour. This is I bought this off the TikTok shop because it said it would help cure my
ED?
alcoholism.
Oh.
That's strong.
That.
I like it. Actually, kind of smooth.
Yeah, it's kind of. I don't normally like a ginger tea like that.
Didn't think to ask about allergies or anything.
Oh,
like
if
that.
it would have been allergy, I would have said something. I would have been like, "Excuse me." Gotcha. I don't know why I did that voice. People have allergies don't talk like that. That was mean. Sorry. I'm only allowed to be mean to Derek. I don't mean to be.
Yeah,
mean
no,
to
I
sorry.
love talking to you so much because that's the East Coast in me is like I yearn for people being lovingly just mean to each other.
That's definitely always been my family's like love language. Is like if we aren't being mean to you, we don't like you. Like but there's the fine line. We know there's the fine line
for sure
of it. But it's like if it's the playful, if we're not doing that with you, chances are we don't want you in our house. We'll still offer you a glass of iced tea, but get out.
The other reason I love talking to you is because I think you do a great job of marrying the kind of
an incredible woman. Yes, I did do that. I did do an incredible job.
Yeah, for sure. She's a great podcast host too. Go check out Datcast. She's on the panel. Marrying like improving your local community with kind of national issues with art. Like you hit my lanes, man. I love talking about these things and everything you bring up here. It's hard to do a podcast with you because I want to go off on 45 minutes on every topic. That said, we got about 15. We're gonna move into the future here. Let's talk about. Look,
should something be swimming in here?
Yeah, the tea bags are a little looser. You know, they don't have any covering.
Were the worms alive when you put it in here?
Are there worms in there? See how they look? A little different.
Okay.
I don't know. Things leak out of them.
Getting my protein in for the day.
Okay, so when we're talking about the future, I think there are three big things. There's your family, what you want for your family life. There is what you want for your professional life, and then kind of what you hope for your community / country / the world. Which one of those three stands out to you first when you think of the future? I assume your family.
Yeah, definitely my family. You know, listened to an interview with Jason Segel earlier this week, and he was talking about this new season of Shrinking, and there was a line in there. He was talking about going to a party, and he was embarrassed about being at this party, and there was this other guy who's going to be there who he feels that like he's just kind of been able to get through life in a way without any scars, right? And his character, he feels, is showing up at this party with all these scars, and he's embarrassed by it. And Harrison Ford's character then says, how sad it would be to be 45 without any scars. And that line really resonated with me in a way of like, as I've been navigating and doing a lot of work with therapy and just with my family and my friends of reckoning who I am as a person and understanding my scars. And so, for my future, it's understanding myself and who it is and what I'm capable of, being proud of my entire whole and flaws and all, and showing up for my family and the people that I care about the most in doing that work. Like that's what I care about is my future.
Awesome. In more just like logistical terms, like do you see yourself staying in Chico as your kid gets older?
Totally, yeah. Chico is our forever home. We're restoring Inlow Mansion, Dr. Inlow's house, and like that's our forever home. And we're rooted here. I don't foresee us going anywhere. Our son loves it here. He's at that age where like every day it's like a brand new adventure, and it's just like this is such a safe and beautiful community to like bring him up in. Like I wouldn't want to do that to him. He's close to my wife's family's all here. Her brother's my business partner. He's my best friend, according to the Sacramento Bee, at least. So I have to run with that lie, I guess.
Is that Josh or someone else?
Yeah, that's Josh. Yeah. It was funny. Like I texted that article came out, and it was like, best friend, and I said, we were joking about some of the things they got wrong, and I was like, I can't believe that she would say this. She said, you're my best friend. But no, I mean, it is like, it's just knowing those relationships with like people like Josh, who, making sure that I'm showing up for him, not just as my business partner, but as my friend and the people that matter. Like, that's what I want for my future, in that regard, and then professionally, I'm chugging along. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the long work in development. And so I'm being the producer, I'm developing. I think there's 4 films in my slate right now for the next 4 or 5 years. So, but check out The Fuzzies, check out Timberlands. I'm really proud of both those projects. Yeah. Oh, and you can also, actually, something I should have plugged it for the past, was my work with Kane Parsons, who directed The Backrooms. I was fortunate enough to be in the project with him called The Oldest View, which is on YouTube. He did this right at the time he signed with A24. So I think I may have been like the only other human being he has directed before he did Backrooms.
How did you meet?
Cool.
How did that come about?
Yeah, that was a fun thing. He saw me on a casting site, and he was like, hey, I got this project, you look just like this guy, I need you to do this and this and this. And I was like, all right, cool. And then showed up, and he was there. He was 16 at the time. His dad was there just to like make sure like his son wasn't. Jesus. I'm a 30-year-old guy, random 30s guy.
You're in Chico at this point?
No, this was in San Francisco. Okay. So I was still living down there, and so it was a fun experience. It was a fun day. Really great guy to work with. He was like so collaborative, and just like, we're just gonna try and see how this feels. But he knew exactly what he wanted to get, and those are my favorite type of directors to work with. Was that he knew what he wanted, and how he got there. He was willing to explore, which I love. Right.
Did you congratulate him on?
Absolutely, okay. Yeah. Really, really sweet guy. And then he just signed a $45 million first look deal with A24.
Well, that's what I mean. You can't help but feel some sense of serendipity or luck or whatever you want to call it with this clear advent of the boom of kind of low budget horror films, and then your kind of production interests, and then the fact that you get mentioned with an obsession in the biggest newspaper on earth. Like, part of you must feel like this is a good time, like strike while the iron's hot, or.
Well, yeah, I mean, not only that too, but like, so in Backrooms, the film, my character's name is mentioned from The Oldest View. Is mentioned in the movie. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
I still haven't seen it, by the way.
It's really good. Yeah. I really enjoy it. It's a beautiful psychological thriller in so many ways, and explores so many themes that I just love seeing explored. That's why I love horror. It's like what we're able to explore within it, and he's got such a beautiful vision, and his use of liminal space is just so great. And the people were drawing parallels because I wear the fuzzy suit in The Oldest View, so people have been asking, and I can't really speak on it, but have been asking if The Fuzzies is in the Backrooms universe.
Is The Oldest View streaming?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay. I'm surprised that hasn't been made like...
It's gotten millions and millions of views, yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's not like it's not being seen.
Yeah. Cool. I gotta watch that too.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Awesome. So one question that I think I've asked everyone on this season 2 of Self-Pour.
Okay.
Your episode 4, I believe. Is, if you can have whatever you want professionally, highest possible dream and ambition, what is that? Are you a blockbuster producer, blockbuster director? Like, if you could have anything in this field, what would it be? What's the peak for you?
Being able to do this with my friends sustainably, continue doing that. It's like, helping make Chico and Butte County like a thriving filmmaking culture. Like that is an industry here that's like, people are like, oh, all right, so how North Carolina, parts of Georgia, parts of Mississippi are like, you have these hubs for culture or for filmmaking culture, and like, I want that for Butte County. Like, that would be my dream, so that I can hang out in the community making these films, and then like I'm not having to travel to Mississippi to be able to afford to make this low budget movie. I'm not having to go to Southern Oregon or Georgia or New Jersey, wherever that is. Like being able to have Butte County be competitive enough to retain our filmmakers.
Yeah, I think we might kind of share similar dreams. I mean, you're obviously doing a million times more than me to make it happen. But
no, but you're a part of it. We're all part of making this happen, and it's like we all have to continue working together and keep pushing the ball up the hill.
Yeah, and just to on record, I'm here 100% to help you and anyone else support that vision in this.
Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I mean, you look at our landscape is phenomenal. I mean, you have the buttes in Orville, you have the Sacramento River. I mean, you name it. We have obviously our famous Bidwell Park, or famous to us anyways.
It is famous. No, it's a famous park. Yeah.
That the kind of outdoor, the external potential here for film should be vast. No. It
is vast. No, you have such incredible topography that you're able to. I mean, just from 1 mile to 5 mile, the difference of topography that you're able to experience. I mean, it's beautiful, and you have this lush green area. You're able to shoot and cheat for different regions, just depending on how you shoot it and how you do it. I mean, you can go into like the world of trees, and you can shoot. You can cheat so much right in that little area in Lower Bidwell. We did that for the Fuzzies. And I mean, it's just so easy to do in this county. Like, there's so much. I was just driving up to Paradise this morning, and I'm just like, oh,
the canyon.
It's like I just want to film. I just want to shoot that. Like that, I need to write something that's shooting that.
Yeah.
So
you got the canyon on the north side. You got the kind of volcanic rock that rolled down the hill that looks like the Serengeti on the
it's
on
incredible.
The south.
I'm just like, I want this. I need more of this. And so I mean, like, we just got to keep doing this work and making this an environment that is welcoming for these films, and it behooves us all. So when we're having the films like The Lost Bus, we're telling the most Butte County story that there is, and we're filming it in New Mexico.
Right.
What are we doing? What are we doing to ourselves?
I still haven't seen that movie. I was there that morning, and I haven't seen that film because of that fact. It soured me to it so much. I feel like I was going to be angry watching the film instead of, connecting to it.
A lot of folks I've spoken to have said that same thing.
Yeah. Do you have... So, forgive me if you've already mentioned this, but do you have any productions happening in Chico right now? Or anything on the horizon that's set to film in Chico?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. My productions with Josh will be Butte County.
Okay, nothing current.
My internal productions are all Butte County.
Gotcha.
My external productions are going to be elsewhere, yes.
Okay. Okay, so final question here before we wrap up. You mentioned city council a couple times. You mentioned your history with politics and your family. Mm-hmm. What are some of the... I know there's some propositions, I don't know what you call it, that you can put ahead of the city council to bring filmmaking to Chico and Butte County. Can you talk about what those things are? Maybe some of the details?
Yeah, I mean, you could look at other communities that have a strong filmmaking production culture. They've done a lot of soft, kind of... sorry, I'm trying to think of the word. Incentives. They've done a lot of hard and soft incentives, and some of the soft incentives are just as simple as like offering a production a free office space using a government building that's not being used, or using downtown spaces that aren't being used, working with landlords. Those are soft incentives of things that we can do. So we could easily work on a bill that's like a low cost relatively to bring productions that we're able to tell. I can go and tell all of the LA and a Bay Area scouts, like, hey, we're doing up here, come up here. And so that's a lot of the work that our Butte County Film Commission that we helped form is doing as well.
Butte County Film Commission. This is something that you founded?
Along with, we had money earmarked from Explore Butte, so that's the county's tourism board. They had money earmarked to create a film commission. So I worked with a lot of community partners that are on our board, and we founded that in the last 2 years. We have a website. You can go look up all of the locations we have for the area. all the resources that are available currently as a
okay.
filmmaker, and I'm the president of the film commission. Yeah.
So it's already laid out for any filmmakers,
Yeah.
producers that are interested.
Yeah, and we're trying to expand it and keep on making
Yeah.
it easier, because we don't have the incentives right now. Is kind of what it is. We have a lot of infrastructure in place, but we don't have the incentives to be like, hey, we'll give you. We can't offer tax incentives or things like that. Not yet. We can't offer those local things. But ideally, those are types of things hard incentives that we could offer.
And are the hard incentives something that just city council would have to pass? That's all?
The city council could pass some of them in Chico. There's a lot of agencies and entities that could pass this and pass these types of things.
And so do you have a presentation to city council?
I've spoken with the city council about this before, but no, we haven't had a more recent about what that actually looked like. I've been working with the actual city on more of the permitting process right now. So
Gotcha.
part of it, in my mind, is I want to make sure that we have, as we're doing all this, so everything's streamlined. Because I want to, if we're taking someone out on a first date, we want to show our best foot forward. And as we're bringing in a big studio, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, so you guys are ready to film, and then the first thing they call is then, oh, you got to talk to Mike over there, and then Mike's going to tell you got to go talk to so and so, and then so and so and so and so. So we've been stress testing all those things, and we're working within the city actually just with their new website they're updating. Is going to has more of the film work on there as well. So.
Outstanding. Right now we have a 4-3 conservative majority. It was 6-1. There's a chance that it flips to Democrat this November. Would that help things, do you think?
I do know that one of the people running for council, I spoke to them at one of their fundraisers recently, and she had indicated that if she was elected, she was willing to increase the TOT, which, the percentage for TOT for the Art Commission, which that would, of course, then...
What's TOT stand for?
That's the transient occupancy tax. So that's like the money that our art commission that I'm on gets to give out for our annual art grants.
Gotcha.
So if we increase that means more money we're able to give out for art grants. So this year, for example, was the largest that we've had for money that we gave out, but it also wasn't enough to cover all the applicants. So we did have to say no to some applicants. So in theory, if that was increased by just even 0.5%, we would have been able to cover it.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. I'm glad we brought this up at the end. That's a fascinating and important thing you're doing there. All right, Dustin Vaught.
Ahlswede.
Any final words on the Self-Bore?
Just thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming, man.
I'm sad. I was told this is a drinking podcast.
Do you think it might? Do you think
cleared-
the quality went up a little bit since we didn't drink?
No. Not at all.
I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, well.
No, I appreciate you sharing everything.
No, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
And go support everything that Dustin mentioned.
Yeah, and if when is this coming out?
Might not be Friday latest.
It's
so
coming
it's
out Friday.
Quick turnaround. Yeah.
Well, then come out this Saturday. Come to the barn 5 to 10. There is a fundraiser for the Chico Art Commission. Come donate and bid on some art.
I'll see you there.